Item SCP-566. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. All copies of SCP-566 are to be stored in low valuable item storage on Site-10. Any new instances of SCP-566 are to be assessed by a designated researcher with Level 4 clearance for this purpose. Uncontained instances of SCP-566 are to be treated as a Keter-level threat. To this extent, Foundation operatives are to regularly inspect the stock of bookstores and libraries for instances of SCP-566, as well as any other literature or stationery published by the Living Language Linguists League. Websites, file sharing sites and forums are to be monitored for scanned or transcribed SCP-566 contents, and DMCA takedowns issued if any such is found. Any new reports of anomalies are to be cross-checked with known SCP-566 contents database in order to both ensure a standard response and to make sure any SCP-566 copies potentially present are found. The classification SCP-566-A is to be used for anomalies related to SCP-566 use. See Document 566 Alpha for list and associated containment procedures. Description: SCP-566 refers to a set of tear-off-desk calendars, sold under the name Wordaday 2009 edition, wacky wordables and idiosyncratic idioms, with manufacturer listed as Living Language Linguists League. 1. The front page, where present, includes a black and white logo, consisting of a stylized tongue in a top hat, raising a champagne glass in one hand, and holding a book in the other. With sample analysis showing no deviation from listed or expected composition. 2. The only known anomalous property of SCP-566 occurs when an individual reading an entry taps a bolded word in the entry definition with his index finger. The contents of the page change, displaying the definition of the tapped word. The new entry retains this property. The means of returning the entry to its original state are currently not known. SCP-566 was declared anomalous due to its contents. While 80% of the entries consist of uncommon English words, the remainder can be categorized according to Table 1. Check the wiki for the full table and full document. It is of note that individual instances of SCP-566 differ in 20% of their contents, with no clear pattern in the distribution of the differences. As of now, 56 instances of SCP-566 have been contained. See Addendum 566-1 for salient content samples. Recovery Log. First known instance of SCP-566 was recovered from the house of JF, after his unsuccessful attempt to follow SCP-566 definition of Tabasco Vice. See Addendum 566-1, which resulted in him splitting into 16 ambulatory, sentient segments. SCP-566 was reclassified as safe after, redacted, led to the recovery of additional instances of SCP-566, which differed in content from SCP-566-1, resulting in the need for a systematic containment procedure not consistent with the anomalous item classification.